Okay, I thought I would share with you today a really cool activity that assesses your innate ability to achieve the best outcome given any collection of cards. Okay, so let's explain this. So as you can see here, I have a selection of cards in which there are many ways to finish with a 1 pair and many ways to finish with a 2 pair, but relatively few ways to finish with a straight. Okay, so if you look at the cards here, it's because we have 2 of each. 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace. Okay, so with the cards mixed thoroughly with input from you, and with the cards, of course, face down, we're going to test your ability to achieve an advantageous hand given a certain packet of cards from which to choose. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and gather these. Now, of course, the two of us saw the cards in the order, so why don't we begin to mix the cards here. This is just the Klondike Shuffle. I can go ahead and do a Charlier Shuffle until you tell me to stop. This is where you're doing kind of top to bottom, bottom to top. You tell me when to stop doing this. Stop there. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to deal out half the cards. Let's see, 5. How would you like these stacked? Right on left? Okay. Now I'm going to deal the cards into 2 piles with random stacking decided by you. Would you like left on right or right on left? Okay. Now a note to you as the performer, you can actually perform as many of these with random stacking as the spectator calls for. Maybe left on right. So you can do 2 of these or 2,000 of them. It won't hurt anything. Okay. Optionally, we can also do as many even or odd up jogs as the spectator would like, with random stacking of the 2 halves. Maybe they want right on left. We can also do as many ferrule shuffles. This is where you break the cards exactly in half, and then you just perfectly interlace them. That's called a ferrule shuffle. Good way of mixing cards. I thought we would also do kind of a double spelling that's kind of cool. This is where you state your favorite suit, and then we'll go ahead and spell it twice. So do you have a favorite suit? Hearts? Okay. H-E-A-R-T-S. Drop the rest on top. H-E-A-R-T-S. Make sure I spell it correctly. Okay, and then maybe we'll just do a mange shuffle here to finish the mixing. And at this point, you're going to make all of the choices, and it will completely decide which hand of cards you receive. Okay, so you can ask for a card taken from the top to be part of your set of 5, or from the bottom. And you can pick from the top or bottom more than once. So what would you like first? Bottom card? Okay, there you go. Now what? Top? Okay. Top again, that's fine. Bottom, you want bottom or top? Top, okay. Well, let's just see how you did over here, okay? What did your intuition do for you? Did it do anything nice? It did indeed. You just dealt yourself the best hand that could be dealt from the 10 cards in the original packet. Boy, how in the world did you do that? Wow. If you had just chosen a little differently, top, bottom, or whatever order you ended up with, boy, you would have ended up with a different hand. That's amazing. Good job. Okay, so how does this work? Well, all you need to do here is set up what's called a 2-cycle relative to card values. And just kind of maybe alternate colors. So right now this is a 2-cycle. Okay, so there's a pattern that repeats twice. You can see it right here. Now this is not what I showed you, by the way, as far as I didn't show you a 2-cycle at the beginning. I'll explain that. But right now it is a 2-cycle. We have 10, Ace, King, Queen, Jack. Okay, so that's a cyclic construction. Well, to help hide that, what I did was, before even showing you the cards, I performed a mange under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. This then would be the packet I would display for the spectator. Okay? Maybe I could have done a better job with some of the colors over there. But, you know, when cards are dealt out randomly, this kind of thing happens, honestly. Okay, but now there's no, you can't see any structure really for anything actually, colors or suits or values. So you show them this and they'll look at it and go, oh, that's a mess. And then just point out that there's many ways to be dealt a hand consisting of a one pair and many ways of being dealt a hand consisting of two pairs and relatively few ways of being dealt a straight. And that's the best you can actually do given this collection of 10 cards. Okay, so you would just close this up. Okay, so remember, I started with a 2-cycle, a cyclic packet. I performed a mange under over. Well, we just need to undo that step and bring it back to a 2-cycle. Well, the mathematical inverse for the mange under over for a packet for an even-sized packet is the Klondike shuffle. So in a supposed effort to mix the cards further, perform a Klondike, okay, and that's going to look like it's mixing things, when in fact now you've returned it to a 2-cycle. So let me just show you that. It's a 2-cycle now. 10, ace, king, queen, jack. Okay, this is what we want. Since it's a 2-cycle, you can randomly cut it or perform as many Charlier shuffles as you like. I can add a link in the description below to the Charlier shuffle. From there, I just dealt out half the cards, allowed you to randomly stack these. Doing so converts it to a mirrored packet. So it's mirrored now. What does that mean? That means that you come in on the outer ends. We have jacks, queens, kings, aces, tens. Well, now the stay stack principle is in force. So for each divisor of the packet size, you can deal out the cards into that many piles with random stacking in this case, because there's only 2 piles. We could have actually dealt out into 5 if we wanted to, because 5 divides into 10 with random stacking from left to right or right to left. I also did an up jog. I did a Pharaoh shuffle. You can do as many of any one of those as you like. I did this double spelling of the person's favorite suit. That double spelling also preserves mirrored packets. Let me just show you it's still mirrored. Queen, ace, 10, king, jack, and so forth. Okay. Now to get it back to a 2-cycle, you just perform an over-under or an under-over. Okay, now it's back to a 2-cycle, which is where we need it to be before we do this in-hand selection of a top or bottom card. Okay, so now you can see it's a 2-cycle. Queen, 10, jack, king, ace. Okay, and then from here, what we had them do, whether they knew it or not, they performed an in-hand Gilbreth shuffle. Okay, and so this is something I talk about in other videos on my channel. So if the spectator draws from either the top or the bottom, and they can draw from the top or bottom more than once, this constitutes what's called a Gilbreth shuffle. Okay, so just have them draw 5. So technically, what we had was a 2-cycle that's now been Gilbreth shuffled. Well, since we had 2 tens, 2 jacks, 2 queens, 2 kings, 2 aces in a cyclic relationship, by the Gilbreth principle, we're guaranteed that each set of 5 here will have one of each of the 5 card values. And then you can reveal that. So there's a queen, ace, 10, jack, king. Okay, so your spectator, amazingly, with astounding perception and intuition, was able to, quote, deal themselves the highest hand possible given that set of 10 cards. Okay, well, congratulate the spectator for a job well done. And thanks to the properties of two cycles in mirrored structures, as well as inverse pairs like the Monge and Klondike, together with the Gilbreth principle, the spectator was able to achieve something very unlikely, given the cards they were asked to work with. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and take a look at other videos on the Absolute Math Magic channel.